All right guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeff Cordero and we are reviewing bows for 2025. Next on the list is the Hoyt Alpha AX2 29. So this is another one of the AX platforms that Hoyt has launched this year as part of their Alpha series, their aluminum riser bow. This is not the same Alpha bow that they had last year. They have made drastic improvements to this bow to increase speed and increase performance across all the draw lengths. So some of the things that they have done to increase speed here is they've actually shortened the limbs a little bit and they have made the cam more aggressive, which is going to make the bow a little stiffer on the draw cycle compared to last year's. Their main selling thing is it's a 70-pound bow that draws like a 60-pound bow. That's not necessarily the case this year, but it's not terribly harsh or stiff draw cycle. So it is definitely one of the smoother draw cycles on the market, especially across the entire draw length that I found. So again, this Hoyt Alpha AX2 is gonna be a great bow. But let's go over the general specs of this thing. This bow is going to come in at a retail price of $1449, and it's going to come in 14 different color options. This one I have here is the gray color. What is this actually? It does not have a on it right now, but this is that gray color. It's a pretty sweet color. They have camo options, so if you're someone who wants camo on your bow, as part of the 14 different color options, there is camo. This is going to come in draw lengths from 25 to 30 inches. Now with the new HBX4 cam, they have new modules for that. The new modules have 85, 80, and 70% let-offs, but the modules are going to come in 1-inch draw increments. So depending on your draw length, you can get a module that is going to give you the maximum performance out of your bow. Having a rotating mod, let's say that goes from 27 to 30 inches like Hoyt has had in the past, at 30 inches, you are going to get the maximum performance out of that module. But when you rotate it down to 27-inch for the draw, you're not going to get maximum performance. That's why other brands like Matthews have individual modules for the draw length. It's to maximize efficiency of the cam at that specific draw length. So Hoyt going to this new module system that gives you 1-inch increments instead of 3-inch increments is going to increase your performance across all the draw lengths, across all the different modules. Each module comes in a 1-inch draw length adjustment. So this one right here is from 29 to 30 inches. Right now I have it set to 30 inches for our speed test, but it is going to have 1/4-inch increments in between that 1-inch adjustment. So you can now set these to 1/4-inch increments, which is really going to help you fine tune your draw length without having to twist up cables or do anything funny with the strings on the bow. You can do that stock, you can do it without having to press the bow. They have gone to a split cam system, which a lot of the bows this year are doing. It's just going to make a little bit more stable platform. It's going to help put equal pressure on that cam. This bow is going to come in at an IBO speed of 340 feet per second with a 350 grain arrow. I do not have a 350 grain arrow currently while I'm filming these videos to test with. The lightest arrow I have is my tack arrow from this year, which is 450 grains. But I don't really care what this thing is shooting at 350, but if you guys want to see that in future speed test videos, drop a comment and let me know, and we will get a 350 grain arrow cut and glued. But I like shooting my hunting arrows to know what my hunting arrow weights are going to be, to know what kind of speeds I'm going to be getting out of that at an arrow that I'm going to be using a lot. So like I said, I have my tack arrow, which is 452, to a hunting arrow, which range from 470 to 500. And then I have a big boy for any of you high FOC guys. It's a 571 grain arrow, but we will get into that when we get there. This bow is going to come in at a mass weight of 4¼ pounds. We're going to weigh that here and get you an actual weight. Right now it only has a whisker biscuit and this little knobby on the bottom, so it does not have any accessories on it, so it should be pretty close. The 32 that I reviewed last week was pretty close to the advertised weight. It was within 0.4 pounds, which was pretty close, especially when you add these two things to it. The brace height on this is going to be 6 3/8 of an inch. We'll measure that. And the axle to axle length on this bow, even though it is called a 29, it's actually 29.5. So let's go ahead over to the bench. Let's measure the brace height and the axle to axle length and see what they come in at, and we'll get you a mass weight on this bow. From the center of the hole to the center of the hole comes in right at 29.5, so that is dead nuts. And the brace height on this bow should be 6 3/8. Run it right into the throat. And it is coming in at right at 6 3/8 to the inside of the string. And we have 4.6 pounds. Again, we have the little whisker biscuit on here and the little knobby on the bottom. So we're within just over 1/4 pound. Our draw weight right now is 0 pounds on the scale. Let's see what this thing draws in at. Probably going to have to crank down the limb bolts a little bit. It feels a little heavy. How about 72.3? So let's go grab a wrench. Let's crank down these limb bolts. Bow's at 0. Sorry, I'm doing this in front of the chrono. And we are at 70 pounds on the dot. So let's get a couple speed tests real quick, and then we'll be out of here. Our first arrow, 70 pounds, 30-inch draw. This is the Hoyt Alpha AX2 29, 452 grains. This was my arrow at TAC last year. Let's get this piece of paper out of the cam. .292 feet per second, so that is cooking at a 29-inch axle-to-axle bow. This is a 471 grain arrow. This is the one I'm using right now for whitetail. 286, so only a, 6 feet per second drop. This is a 506 grain arrow. This is the arrow I carried around in the Elkwoods this year. This would be a very good all-purpose arrow for me. .278.2 feet per second, and the fat boy for you guys that like to shoot heavy arrows, 571 grains. If you want to see something heavier than this, drop a comment, let me know, and we'll build something. 261 feet per second, so that's moving pretty good for a big arrow. I want to say the 32 that I reviewed last week, I think was pushing it at like 257, somewhere in that ballpark. So we are a shorter axle-to-axle bow. We are getting more speed out of it, and that's not bad efficiency from the first one. We only lost 30 feet per second, over 120 grain difference in arrows. All right, that is it. This is the Alpha AX2 29 by Hoyt. They're offering for 2025. Again, it is a great bow. It has the new HBX 4 cam on it. So this is a continuation of the very, very popular HBX cam that does make draw weights feel a little bit lighter. I'm not going to say that it makes a 70-pound bow feel like a 60, but it is a very consistent and smooth draw cycle. Therefore, it makes the draw weight feel a little bit less. A lot of adjustability with the modules that you can get for this cam. Has a lot of the stuff that Hoyt has put on their bows. And recently, you have the Picatinny mount in the front for your sight, the integrates rest mount right on the riser. You also have the inline accessory system. You have the bipod you can put on the front here. So there's a lot of different things that you can accessorize with this Hoyt. They have a lot of Hoyt branded accessories if you're someone who wants to go Hoyt all the way out. And they have the new wire WRX strings on here, which I didn't really touch on. I haven't been able to shoot these strings for a full season to kind of give you guys a really good opinion on them. But overall, initially out of the box, they look like a really good set of strings. So if you guys want to try one of these Hoyt Alpha AX2s, come on down to Barefoot Archery down here in Charlotte. Come see Jesse and us, and we're gonna get you into shooting one. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you wanna shoot one of these, come on down to Barefoot Archery. We'll get you set up. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video.